Okay, hi everybody. Welcome to a new edition of the Solid Financial Podcast. Today we have Chris Lambert, one of the members of the team here at Solid Financial Plan. We're gonna just get to know a little bit of his story and how he got into this business. So, welcome, Chris.
Thank you, Pepe. Thanks for having me on here. I'm excited to share my story with everyone.
All right. So let's start with that. Like, what is it that you used to do before insurance?
So great question. So I've done a lot of stuff in my life. After I got out of college, I worked in corporate America in multiple companies, and I quickly decided corporate America wasn't for me. Mm-hmm. I knew there was something more. I've always had the entrepreneurial type mindset. You know, there's always something better. So anyway, after leaving a company, I opened my own business.
In what?
I opened a trucking company.
Trucking company.
Yes, and so shipping, logistics, and chain supply. You know, so food chain supply. So anyway, so I opened a trucking company, and I did that for right at 11 years, and so I had to make some changes because of the economy. Mm-hmm. Everything was affected by the price of fuel and the insurance. And
what year are we talking about?
We're talking about from in 2008, 2009. Mm-hmm. The economy was bad for a lot of things. The housing market was bad. But anyway, long story short, I really enjoyed it at the time, but I had to make some decisions and move on to something else. Mm-hmm. Well, I took a year off and worked out in the gym and spent some time with my family, and I decided, what am I going to do now? And so I decided, I think I want to go to the police academy and I'm going to become a police officer. Mm-hmm. And so I went through that. It was a great experience. But
how long did you work as a policeman?
About 9 years.
9 years.
Yeah. So what happened? My dad passed away, and then my mom got sick. She had dementia, and so it was during a time where I didn't want to put her in a nursing home or anything. And she was very, very active, very mobile, and so we made the decision for me to leave the law enforcement career, and I chose to take care of my mom. And she lived another 2.5 years, and so I will never have any regrets for that. But anyway, after that, I just stumbled into the insurance industry.
How? What was that first approach or experience?
So we had, my wife and I were friends with Dan Hatcher's daughter.
Okay.
And so she was posting on social media, and my wife was texting her back and forth, you know, what is your dad doing? And so we called her one day, and she said, my dad got into this industry and it's amazing. He's 64 years old and he's loving it. Best thing he's ever done. And so we're curious. So at in that time period, we didn't realize, but she had signed us up, me and my wife both. Mm-hmm. And so fast forward a little bit, we went to convention in Miami. I said, well, let's go to the convention. And so we went to the convention. I didn't know a soul. No one, nothing about insurance, and I met Juan Franco and Dan Hatcher and some other people there.
But at that point, were you considering like going back to the police, or
I was at a crossroads? I didn't know,
looking for something new.
Exactly, I didn't. I really didn't know exactly what I was going to do, but I knew I wasn't going back to law enforcement. Mm-hmm.
Why?
Well, because it's really for a younger person.
Okay.
I'm a little older in my age to be doing that kind of work.
All right. Like very stressful? Or?
It's very stressful. Very stressful. You know, I could talk for hours on that, but anyway. So I had to make a decision what I was going to do. So I thought, well, let's go to this convention. Mm-hmm. And so we went to the convention in Miami, and Family First Life. I didn't know anything about it. And we got down there, and I'm just overly excited. It was kind of a life-changing moment because I see people from all ages. You don't have to have as long as you can talk on a phone or on a computer or whatever, there's no age limit. you can be 18 years old or 100 years old. You can still do this career. And I saw little kids to professional lawyers, doctors, and all different types of people that had life experiences that went into the insurance world. And it was basically life changing. And I thought, well, if they can do it, I can do it.
And how were those first, I don't know, weeks or months when you decided to get started?
So I got I didn't even have a license when I was at that first convention. So I got my license after the convention, and then I started doing some final expense policies, mortgage protection, some simplified issued insurance policies. And there was a period of time where I second guessed my decision, maybe I can't do this. And so fast forward, I was in South Florida working, going in people's homes. Maybe they had a lot of cigarette smoke, or dogs jump up on you, or just a bad environment, and I didn't like that, and it was very unpredictable who was going to be there, and maybe they show up and maybe they don't, maybe they were at home, maybe they weren't. Anyway, Juan Franco, he called me and said, hey, I've got these leads, and I've started doing IULs, and I said, well, I want to learn how to do these IULs because I'm at the verge of like leaving the insurance industry completely. And so he called me, and I came to Houston, and I quickly learned, I sit in the office and work with Juan Franco and all the other people on our team, and they taught me how to do, how to present and how to sell the IUL life insurance policies.
And that has been a game changer?
That's been a game changer. So I would recommend this to anyone, to open their mind to what's possible, because most people go to work every day, 5 days a week, and then they're glad when Friday gets here because they're ready for the weekend, but they dread going to work on Monday. And so this is one career that I tell my wife and everyone on my team that I do not regret, or I do not dread, or do not hate going to work, because you're adding a lot of value into someone's life, and you're changing their life and protecting their retirement plans. And so it's really, I really like it because we're talking about their financial strategies and stuff. And so my goal is I want to build a big team because I want to share this opportunity with everyone. And this is my 4th year doing this, and I don't have no vision of doing anything else.
And how is that effort going? Like for the team building in your case?
Yes.
What are your objectives? Or
so if somebody is interested in, anyone that's struggling, that they're working paycheck to paycheck, if they're interested in having a better life, they can do this career part-time, or they can do it full-time. They can transition to full-time. We have a lot of people on our team that left their full-time career and transitioned into helping people with their life insurance.
How would you say your life has changed? Because you were in the trucking business, then
Yes.
police, and now this is completely different. You're an independent, everything. How has your life in general changed for the positive? Like what has been?
Absolutely. So, I'll piggyback off what I was going to say a minute ago about having to go to work. People work. Our youngest son, he actually works for corporate America, and he works all the time, 50 plus hours of work, and it's very common for him to come home after work and work till midnight, or work on the weekends on projects that are due on Monday. And with this career, it's just a game changer, because you can work hard and you get so many rewards. You can spend more time with your family. You can take trips. You earn trips. I mean, we've been to Hawaii. We've been on cruises. We're going to the Bahamas next month. And so I would recommend this for anyone because and you get monthly bonuses, and so the sky is the limit. You're not capped off on how much money you can earn and how you can change your your family's life, and that's what I did with mine. I can say that we are in so much better of a place now than we were when I was a police officer.
And what has been your experience working with Solid Financial Plan? How is that important?
So back to what I said earlier, Juan and I started doing the IULs when the IULs were not popular. And so a lot of people were like, oh, I don't want to do that. So Juan calls me and we, like I said, I spent 5 or 6 weeks here in Houston at the office, but working with Solid Financial Plan has extended my family, if you will. I have met you and your family. I've been to Colombia with you guys and Juan, and I mean, I can call any of you guys at any moment and you guys will always be there. And that means a lot more to me than going to work at a corporate company where you never see the hierarchy of the company. You never get to talk to the CEO. You never get to be recognized in for your work. And a lot of people, some of my friends and family, work for companies for 30 years and they get a plaque, and then later down the road, a couple weeks later, they're out of a job. So it just feels good to have the family here at Solid Financial Plan.
All right. How can people reach you if they ever want to join your team or talk to you?
Anyone that wants to talk to me, like I said, I've worked in corporate America, owned businesses, police officer for many years. I've done a lot of stuff in my life, but I can tell you this is the best business model, that hands down. And if anyone wants to reach out to me, my name is Chris Lambert. And my phone number is 479-841-5351. That's my direct number. You can call me, text me, get a hold of me any way possible.
And I personally want to thank you, Chris, because you really helped me when I was getting started. And you is the kind of guy who is always going to be there for you. If you ever need a good team, think of Chris Lambert. Thank you so much for
thank you
your time.
for everything. Appreciate it.
All right, man.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
As always, in the Solid Financial Podcast today with Chris Lambert, he's going to have 30 seconds, try to make 10 baskets for $100. One,
Okay.
2, 3, go. It's tricky. Get a little bit closer. 1, 2.
Boy, it is tricky.
It's not as easy as it looks.
Slam dunk. How's
3,
that? I'll take a
10, 9, 5, 4, 3, 2.
I'm not a basketball player. How's that?